everybody. It's Jacqueline, president of WOTM, and I'm here to welcome you to another one of our video casts. I have a very special guest today. Her name is Xena Kraft, and she is the founder of Xena Workwear. They are a stylish steel-toed shoe company for women in different industries who need functionality as well as fashion. And we've teamed up with Xena to do a shoe pop-up initially for April. However, things have changed, so we're pivoting, and I still want everybody to get to meet Xena and learn more about Xena and hear her story and connect with all of us women in manufacturing and different industries. So welcome, Xena.
Thank you so much for having me, Jacqueline. Very excited to share our story today. Too bad that the event has been canceled, but it was necessary, and I hope we can reconnect sometime this summer.
Absolutely. So I think for our audience, the best thing to do is to have you talk about your experience as a professional and an engineer and share your story about how you transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur. So I think it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
And kind of a fun buzz going from engineer to entrepreneur and being a female too. So
of course, yeah. First of all, I never planned to make fashionable safety shoes in my life. Never thought that I would get into footwear manufacturing. So how it all started was I studied international project engineering in Germany, and it is one of the newer programs that combines project management with a very broad engineering skill set. And after I finished my degree, I moved to the US to work for a consulting company, working with manufacturing clients and helping them with critical multi-million-dollar projects. So many of you know the manufacturing environment. So it's this constant transition between an office setting and the shop floor, constant back and forth. And especially as a consultant, I had to dress professionally. So I was there leading a group of teams, 5 to 20 men, mostly male engineers. I had to feel confident. I was the youngest in the room. I was the only woman in the room. And it was very important to me to feel confident. So I dressed professionally. And then every time we wrapped up the meeting, someone would say, all right, guys, let's walk out on the shop floor to check on that project we just talked about, or check on a part. And I was the one who always had to stop everyone and say, wait, guys, I have to run back and change to my clunky boots that I hated so much. Like, I loved my job, but safety shoes were always so uncomfortable. They were designed for men, super clunky, never worked with my outfits. So many women were forced to dress down. And after complaining for so many years and like discussing this topic with all my female engineering friends, I thought, okay, I want to do something about it and design a safety shoe that has all the important safety features, but allows women to feel confident. So that's how Xena was started, basically out of my own frustration.
It's a good frustration that you had, because now the world can have some beautiful shoes so that women aren't experiencing the same things that we've traditionally experienced for an eternity now, right?
Yeah. No,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's time for change. More and more women are going to this field, and we have to realize that the equipment that we have needs to change. It's not only safety shoes. There's safety vests and so many other personal protective equipment areas that need improvement. We have different bodies and need different products to perform our jobs well.
Right. So tell us about the process that you went through to identify this gap in the shoe market.
So first, I did a lot of research looking for something that would look even close to what would help me feel confident and allow me to be safe on the shop floor. And there was nothing out there. I went to multiple shoe stores, all those local safety shoe specialized stores. I looked online. There was really nothing out there. And after writing a business plan, so we made the decision to start this business. I wrote a business plan, and the next step was to find a designer. So we found a shoe designer and kind of told them, had to learn a lot about American safety standards. And with the designer, we worked together, kind of pushing the boundaries without breaking any rules. Like, okay, what can we do to make it nice, but also be compliant with all the necessary standards? We found then after we had the drawing on paper, we had to find a manufacturer. After reviewing multiple options in different countries, we decided to go to Mexico because manufacturing in the US would have been too expensive. Manufacturing in Asia would be too difficult based on language barrier. It's a very long trip to get there. Then protection of your product would not be able to protect it as well as we can here. And we're in the same time zone, so we can jump up on a call with our manufacturer on a weekly basis, which is awesome. So yeah, found a manufacturer. It took us about six to 8 months to go through 5 rounds of prototypes, and then finally send it to an independent lab for testing. And then we launched in May of last year. So it took us a little bit over a year to design only one product in 2 colors, and pass all the necessary testing and launch our website.
So I've taken notice to the amazing look and feel about your brand, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Tell me how you came up with the name Xena, and also who makes up your team?
Yeah, we brainstormed different ideas for names, and the question asked the people who are in the room, like, I need a name that sounds like a badass woman. And then people were throwing out different names, and someone said, how about Xena? And that name kind of stuck to me and really stood out, and we decided to call it Xena because it sounds like a very strong and powerful woman.
Absolutely.
And then my team is very small, so we have 3 full-time people on the team, and everyone is wearing a different hat every day, so it always changes. And then we have about 3 amazing freelance employees who support us with writing, social media, some creative work, design work. So yeah, Dimitri is our operations manager. Eugene Furman is our lead on the marketing side. Haley Albright is our amazing social media manager. We have Courtney, a really good writer, and we constantly hire more freelance people as we discover new projects we want to work on. So it's a very small and lean team that we work with.
So what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing right now with COVID, or maybe some positive outcomes you're seeing that are impacting Xena?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last few weeks were incredibly difficult. We experienced a huge drop in sales because all the on-site try-on sessions that we had scheduled, of course, got either canceled or pushed out to late May, June. We don't know if they will happen this summer at all. So, and I think because a lot of companies right now focus on what are the communications with COVID, like how many people can we maintain? There's so much uncertainty now that it had a significant impact on our business. But it also forced us to be a little bit more creative. And in the beginning, we felt very powerless. Felt paralyzed and thought that there's nothing we can do about it. But after I received a call and was asked to join a face mask task force here in Wisconsin because the hospitals started to run out of supplies, face mask supplies, I was so inspired by the amount of people, the amount of companies and universities that work together towards a solution that inspired me to do something internally in my company as well. And so we launched small different programs to support women in STEM and the trades, like celebrating the hardworking women in manufacturing. Um, there's some recognition that people get, and they really deserve it in the healthcare sector. They're our heroes. But I felt like the hardworking men and women who work insanely long hours in production, in food production, production of ventilators, face masks, sanitizers, do not get the recognition. So we launched a little fun campaign to celebrate women in our case, and donated really fun care boxes that included snacks for their long work days, like bath bombs for a nice relaxing bath, safety vests, and all those items were donated by female business owners here in Milwaukee. So that was a fun thing to do, and we'll be launching a shoe care program this week. Within the next 2 weeks, we'll be launching another program that will support women related to job security. There will be so much uncertainty. So we want to provide coaches for one-on-one trainings depending on the job women need, maybe resume reviews, finding a new job, skills training. So we want to partner with organizations who used to give those amazing talks and trainings at different conferences that are now canceled all over the country. So we're thinking about different ways how we can bring it online and provide value to women.
That sounds really great. And just you talking about all of the pivots that you're making gives me chills. I know being in Milwaukee is probably more scary than being in a more remote location with, smaller population. So you guys are
Mm-hmm.
troopers, and all of the first responders and medical professionals. I mean, it's so great to hear all of the things that they're doing, and that you guys are also supporting that as well. So that's really great. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course, no, this is it's nice to see that we have the community comes together and supports each other. Like, now is the time to support each other, stay positive. Everyone can contribute something in some way. I think it is key to stay optimistic and positive and work together.
Oh, absolutely. So kind of switching gears, tell me a little bit more about your experience personally with being a female engineer, and then also a female entrepreneur and startup company too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, no, so my engineering experience was when I did my first internships. They were both in the US. I worked at a steel cutting tool company in Waukesha, Wisconsin, where I worked on fun things like heat treatment of steel. It was a lot of fun, but that was actually the very first time when I experienced this frustration with safety shoes, where I was this young, very inspired girl who came to a new country. I showed up in my professional outfit, and then I received a voucher to a local store, and they've been told, like, go to get your safety boots. And I was so frustrated when I saw the options. Overall, I enjoyed working with the people at my companies. I enjoyed the challenges I had. I was responsible for implementing safety gloves plan, working with operators, trying to select the right PPE for them. It was a lot of fun with the small frustration of safety shoes. And overall, I think it is a little bit challenging for a woman to work in this field, depending on the work on the culture of a company. I was lucky enough that I always worked at companies that were very respective, but I've heard so many bad stories where women are not really treated equally. Of course, once in a while I had the situation where would be in a meeting, let's say with 9 men and myself, 9 engineers. I was still talking talking about a specific project or sharing my thought, and someone would just randomly start talking. I thought, how is this possible? Like, this is so disrespectful. It still happens once in a while. And then I think women are judged a little bit more than men. So they have to prove themselves every time they are on a new project or working with a new client. So that was my experience. In the beginning, it's like, it took a while to gain their respect and show that I do well what I do, and I can help you to deliver your projects on time, in scope and within budget. But you have to trust me, and you have to support me and help me lead those planning sessions and yeah, and control meetings. Overall, I enjoyed working with teams. There are always challenges, but I want to inspire more girls to explore this field. I think there are not enough role models in manufacturing and engineering, and I hope to improve that sometime soon.
Well, I think judging from my interactions with you and seeing what you've been doing in your history, you are one of those female leaders and mentors to inspire young women to continue pushing forward, understanding that STEM and manufacturing, there is a space for us women there. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely appreciate that. And was just drawn to you because of who you are. You really fit in well with the mission of women of today's manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
too. And so I think it's really great that we could get together and put each other on a different platform to empower one another and get our voices out. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
And I didn't answer the second part of your question, which is like how was the experience working, running my own business. That is a little bit different as well, because two of my team members are men, and it is again a different dynamic. So I'm the one who often in most cases makes the decisions, especially anything related to design. When we manufacture our products with our manufacturing team in Mexico, most of them are men, and it happened already multiple times that we tried to fix a problem, and I was the one who had the solution because I have I have an engineering background, and was helpful there. It is an interesting balance, and I really love running this company. Everyone is on board. Everyone believes in the same mission, and it is just so fascinating to build something from nothing and solve a real problem. It's a I would say it's a small problem for women, but it's not just a product. It's providing more confidence and safety, which helps me, yeah, which drives me every day. The amount of fantastic feedback that we receive on a daily basis is what keeps me going during the difficult times.
Absolutely. Kind of speaking to how, women come into a meeting with an already at a disadvantage. And so if you're thinking through how you look and how you sound and who's going to take you serious, what how you're dressed, I mean, all of those things factor in. And so it makes sense. And there definitely is a need to be able
Mm-hmm.
to put us at more of an ease and give us that confidence first and foremost, so that those external pressures or maybe internal pressures of dynamics
Mm-hmm.
can be a little bit less cumbersome when you're going
Mm-hmm.
in to accomplish goals and work with companies and solve problems, right? So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
what is something that women of today's manufacturing can do to help support Xena in this time, or ways that we could continue engaging?
I think right now, if we can support each other messages, like even setting up this one, and more people, I will share this with my chance, more people will find out about women of today's manufacturing and the other way around. We really would appreciate any support from anyone who would need a nice pair of safety shoes right now. We're still a very small business and can use some support. Please follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Xena Workwear, at Xena Workwear, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Follow us. Please support our mission. Share about our stylish safety shoes with your networks, and we will do the same for women of today's manufacturing. And I would love to collaborate on another event with you if you would be open to this. I'll share more details after this call.
Absolutely. So I think it's really great, and I appreciate your time. For those of you who haven't heard of Xena, look them up. It's Xena Workwear.com. I think people try to put a Z in the Google search sometimes and get lost,
Yeah.
but so xena.com, and we'll post all of your information at the end of this video too, so that people tuning in can go to that and not have to scramble to write it down. I guess so. In closing, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night is this balance between running, like what is the right thing to do right now. Like, there's so many challenges, and what keeps me up at night is to make sure that my small team is healthy and will not get burned out. Right now, I've been piling on way too many projects on them. Right now, for me, the challenge is to make sure they're healthy and we support as many women as we can, while still running operations.
Absolutely.
So this is the difficulty of how much can I support the face mask task force. And I even asked myself, should I buy a ticket to Mexico and like make face masks right now? What am I doing here? It's this constant internal battle of what we can do to help and be creative. Yeah.
So I guess I came up with another question. As an entrepreneur and an engineer, you're an innovative thinker and a doer. So you put things together. What can you see kind of the landscape of people and things and people making things and manufacturing? What do you see happening after we kind of settle back into normal flows and habits, once we're, I guess, all released back into the world?
Yeah, I think a lot of things will change. I think we all will deal with a new normal, how we even run events. I think a lot of industries will change as well. We might wear face masks on a more regular basis. Maybe that will be a thing, like what you've seen in China before. This is just my personal prediction. I think people will focus more on in manufacturing facilities on safety. That is already a high priority for many people, but and people get more creative now. Now it's a very difficult time where also people are, or I will say, stuck at home, will finally launch new businesses to solve certain problems. Maybe they have been thinking about an idea for a very long time, and with those furloughs and people being at home, I think that we will see new interesting startups coming out of this situation, solving our problems. And I hope that there will be an overall trend to see ourselves as global citizens. I know that right now the focus is on support your local community. But I think to avoid problems like this in the future, we have to be thinking globally. And how can we ensure that we have globally a solid healthcare system, that we would not have problems like this again? Like taking care of the environment, taking care of the health worldwide, having solid programs in place. That's what we actually discussed for a long time as part of my nonprofit organization, Feeding Mouths, Filling Minds. We build sustainable water and food supply systems in Eastern and Western African countries, and we discussed for a while, how is it relevant right now while everyone starts to focus more locally? It is still one of the team members, one of our partners, he was the one who, his team was part of the solution to find a cure for Ebola, to develop the vaccine for Ebola. His team was the only one that was allowed to bring samples out of the country. And we were, this guy's amazing, Alhaji Jai. And we were joking like, oh, is he working on COVID-19 right now? And connected with him, he's like, yeah, I have this guy who's building a university, helps to build water and food supply systems. He's finding the solution right now for COVID-19. So it is all interconnected, and I think once this is all will be over, we will all focus more on our global well-being.
Right. No, yeah, I think right now when people are in fear, everyone wants to hunker down and stay very tight knit. But
And I think that is important right now. We have to. Right now, I'm promoting a lot of local businesses because I know they struggle, and try to support as many restaurants we can. As many. I just ordered beautiful soaps from a local business that I will be sending out to to a lot of my friends and family members, just trying to support. I have here, sorry for the plugs.
It's okay.
Amazing super Nola snacks. So I'm just trying to do as much as we can locally, and would encourage everyone to do the same thing right now. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So I think the conversation that you bring up is great, though. So there is this important efforts to be local and be connected, but then also have that bigger, broader worldview, because at the end of the day, everybody in the world, we're all people, and we all need to support each other and be kind and innovative and come together so that we can overcome uncertainties like these together instead of apart. So
I fully agree.
yeah, that's a wonderful message. So I don't know, did I miss anything? Do you have anything that you want to talk about?
I think we covered most topics. Like what I would like to say to wrap it up is, again, I see people dealing with this in different ways, and a lot of people are very afraid, which makes sense, and are less optimistic. And I think it is very important to focus on your mental health as well. Make sure if that whole situation stresses you out, like limit your watching news for only 5 to 10 minutes a day, and focus on positive things in your life, because we're all in this together. We'll get through this. It will be all okay.
That's a great message. So, excuse me. So thank you, Anna Kraft from Xena Workwear. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to continuing our efforts to work together for WOTM and for Xena, and the bigger mission to support women in manufacturing and STEM related fields. So thank you so much for your time. This was great.
Thank you so much for having me, Jacqueline. I'm very excited to meet the whole group in a few months. Please stay safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you all in person. I think it will be all good.
Great. All right. Well, I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye,
All right.
Jacqueline.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.